song. We have a children little story stuff, so that we can reach to the Thai people. So what we can describe what's the meaning of Christmas.
Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. My name is Pastor Matt, and today we are in Sriracha on Kids Day. Kids Day is like a national day, like Mother's Day or Father's Day in some other countries. So today we're down in the park with our BBCI students, with our youth group, Extreme Youth, and our Victory Church, and all of us down here at the ministry at WMF. We're down here connecting with our community, and it's a good time where we can do face painting, throwing sponges at people's faces. We have bands going on in the background over here. They're rotating, and we have a good crowd coming out, and we have prizes that people can draw their names in, and it's going to be a really good day so that we can really be a face in our community. And it's really important for us as a church to be in our community for two reasons. Really, the community needs to hear about Jesus, and they need to see relationships. What a relationship means to, with a person between themselves and their Creator. So it's always good that the people can see this, but also the church needs the people so that we can grow and that we can show and demonstrate and grow in our leadership. I mean, if you've ever been anywhere and you want to learn leadership, you just start evangelizing people, and they start asking you questions, and you have to start looking up answers in your own Bible instead of, hey, Pastor so-and-so. I mean, it's great for everybody as a whole for the church to be out in the community and growing in their giftings and their callings that God has placed in their lives. So today is really a special day for us.
We're going to check out this place where they say they are selling dog meat. And if you
man,
what is it, Josh?
that is dog, come on.
Well, let's go check it out and let's see what the fuzz is all about.
Is this dog meat?
Yeah.
Look at that.
I think he's like stopped.
What is this?
Oh, you eat dog?
It's a dog?
Yeah, they eat like that. Akha people eat. Akha people, they like to eat dog meat.
Well, there you are. So, what do you call that? Normal? Way of life? Normal? It's no different than having the chopping block right beside the chicken coop, or the slaughterhouse right beside the pig pen. Would you buy it though?
You want to try to?
Would I buy a dog to eat? No. You might want to save the dog, right?
No.
I don't know. It's different. Like, that's how they live here. Like, for them it's the same as us going to KFC. Like, it's a different way of life. Like, we can't comprehend it because we don't live here. They don't put the same emphasis on their pets as we do, so I don't know. You can't really condemn them for it because it's how they live, and really if we want to start doing that, what are we? I don't know, just looking at things in that light, we really have to be careful when we look at someone else's culture and make assessments and judgments based upon our own culture and our own preferences. So we can't be judging too much, or really at all, unless we be judged ourselves.
When God first started getting my attention, it was about the children of Thailand, about the AIDS orphans, about the child prostitutes, and the plight of all the children. And it was like films and books, and they were in my face all the time, and I was praying to God about these children, asking Him to do something. And then one morning in my sitting room, God clearly said to me, I want you to go. I didn't know anybody in Thailand, but I'd heard of Pastors Al and Terry Purvis, who had a children's home. So we got in touch with them and asked if they would meet us. When we met them, it was like God arranged every single appointment. And Pastor Al took us to places, and every person we met was a contact God wanted us to have. My heart just went out even to Pastors Al and Terry, who had a children's home, and their support had been stopped because the people supporting them wanted to give projects, and these children needed feeding. And my heart ached, and I just came back home and said, God, I have to do something. And so I started raising money, trying to raise money. But in my heart, I kept feeling God was saying, ministry. I want you to start a ministry. But I didn't want to. I'd retired as a nurse, and I didn't want to. And I kept making excuses. I can't use computers. I can't do this. I have hip problems and back problems. And so people gave donations when I put the vision before them and wanted to come with me, which was good. And it's important that people come to catch the vision and see how joyful mission is, really. It's hard, and you have many adventures, and some of them very scary, but I wouldn't change one bit of it. My heart's been so knitted with the people. It's a genuine love of Christ in my heart for these people that even though it's physically difficult for me, I know that God helps me every step of the way. And I know there's no age in God, you know, young or old. If God's calling you, I would urge you, don't look at the difficulties, just trust God in the difficulties. If you're called for mission, then go.
Designed to Worship was birthed out of a group called Victory Worship Arts, which is basically the umbrella that unites all the worship arts activities within the Victory movement for Churches International. The vision to worship is a global vision. It's a global vision that we've taken up within Victory Worship Arts, Designed to Worship, what have you. We recognize that worship is a thing we were designed and created to do. So we're just taking up our call and recognizing, hey, if you want to join us, we have a great big God that deserves our worship.
Hey, what's going on? Right now we're actually in Chonburi, and we're at the detention center, and we're just setting up a stage right now, getting all prepped, and I'm so excited.
Hi, I'm Brendan Forster. I'm the guitarist in the band From Love to Forfeit. And we just played in conjunction with some other bands at a juvenile detention center here in Thailand. And I think it went really well. The place was packed and the kids were I think they really got into it and had a good time. We had several things. We had drama and dance and a couple bands, including us. And they seemed to really have fun and really connect, and a couple testimonies were given. I gave a testimony just about identity and stuff, and I know that identity is a huge bondage here in Thailand, so talked about that, and lots of hands were raised for the salvation call, and I think it went really well.
We started the show, we were about 30 seconds into a song, and then the power went down and we blew the breaker or something, and then it ended up going from a blown breaker to a 5-man drum solo, which was bizarre. But God really came through on this one, and it was awesome. I was really touched by how many salvations there were today. People have never met us here before. No one knows who we are. And we came here and we shared our testimonies, and we gave 2 salvation messages, and it was amazing. God really moved, and I'm praying that these people really grasp onto the thought of God being more than just a concept in their lives and being their best friend and their father. And I just pray that this place is continually being blessed by the Lord and that they will continue to grow in God.
Young people all over the place raising their hands, jumping up and down, listening to the band FLTF. And just the amazing response to listening to the gospel and listening to the testimonies of the boys, but listening to the music and recognizing that music has such a power to engage people, to connect people. And God has placed us here today in this country, in this detention center, to be able to see the gospel go forth and to partner with the group that's already doing a work here, to seeing the gospel go forward and recognizing that God has a special plan for each and every one of these young people that have come today. And we're just glad to be a part of it today, and we just want you to enjoy what's happening here and just recognize that God does have a plan.
So here we are at the youth detention in Chonburi. So we just finished wrap up the concert and some just basically big outreach basically we did here. And to have the Canadian team youth band right here with our youth as we running Extreme in Thailand, or our youth group, and just to have they interact with each other, playing music side by side, it just really encouraged them, you know, because I mean they're just pumped. They're just pumped.
Well, we really thank God for all of the amazing things that have happened in the last year. You know, I mean, year after year, we keep seeing the ministry grow and people grow
just
and the disciples being made.
Yeah. You know, it's amazing the challenges that we get all the time, and yet the ministry keeps growing. I'll tell you, the goodness of God, the faithfulness of God's word planted on the inside.
That's right.
It's just...
Yeah, and we've seen this last year as people in the ministry, and us particularly, have been able to make a greater jump into faith. God's always calling us to greater faith.
Yes.
And we're looking forward to next season, and really believe that God's speaking to us about the blessing, that God is the blesser. You know, it starts back in Genesis chapter 1 and verse 28, where he talks about having made Adam and Eve, and it says he blessed them. That's the first thing he did for them. He blessed them. And then he said to take dominion, right?
Yes.
And I've been thinking, you know, honey, about how a lot of people will pursue blessings.
Yes.
But the great blesser, the great I am, is pursuing us.
Is pursuing us.
That's right.
You know what? You can never outgive God. And
that's it.
Our life has been like that. We see this with our students. We see this with our missionaries, just continually pouring out into these nations. But I'll tell you, it gets to a point where it just overtakes you.
That's right.
The blessing.
That's it.
I love that.
And the great blesser is pursuing you.
Oh, yes.
But he wants us to do something. He said to Adam and Eve, he says, you know, you got to go out there and you got to take dominion. You got to be fruitful. You got to multiply and those kind of things. And that's what he blesses. He blesses fruitfulness, our willingness to be fruitful. And so we want to really draw you in and invite you in over the upcoming season of Continuum. I don't want you to miss one episode. I'm not gonna. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be good.
and to see not only what God's blessing us with, the blesser, and how he pursues us in that relationship that we have with Jesus Christ, but also that there's things that he wants you to do and I to do that are going to call us into greater blessing over the next year. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to talk to you a lot in the next coming year about how you can work together with this ministry even more. Not only this ministry, but other ministries. God has a great commission all around the world for all of us to be a part of. And he's excited about it, and he is pursuing you for that great commission, and he's pursuing us. And so we're excited. Thank you so much for watching Continuum. We love you and appreciate you.
Yes, we do.
And we're going to be here again next year, next season, with some more great episodes and amazing things that God's doing all across Asia.